AITAH for telling my wife to put away meat in a vegan restaurant. We were out in a different city with our two kids, 4 and 3 months, and stopped for lunch at a place which happened to be vegan. None of us are vegan, and the eldest kid is a great eater, so would have no issue with that. As it turned out, he said he wasn't hungry, so we didn't order him anything. During lunch, my wife kept asking if he wanted something. The answer stayed no. At one point, she goes into her bag and pulled out a sausage roll, UK term. Don't think you have them in the US that we'd bought while walking around earlier. I immediately told her to put it away. She has an annoying habit of thinking she can whip out non-restaurant bought food for a child, which we've clashed about before. So she said her usual nobody will care. He's 4. I followed up with a firmer, not only is it not purchased from here, you've got meat out in a vegan restaurant. Put it away. She did, but was clearly frosty for the rest of the meal. When the kid inevitably said he was hungry a short while later, he ate a decent amount off both our plates with no issue. I don't understand how she didn't instantly see it was a dick move, but maybe I'm being the asshole and it's actually okay to be so oblivious just because you have a child. First comment. WTF op. Why does a 4-year-old get a choice at deciding if they want to eat when you're at a restaurant? You know what your child like to eat, just order something. Or is not old enough to know if they are going to be hungry when everyone's food comes to table in 30 minutes. Why the actual FCK did the pair of yous treat a AF King 4-year-old like a teenager? You sit down as a family in a restaurant, you F King order for the 4-year-old by asking suggestions from them and not asking if they want to F King eat. That's your FCKING job as a parent, to make sure they eat. Was it that much more expensive to order a small portion of chips on side for 4-year-old when he said no? Is it that hard to predict AF King 4-year-old doesn't know what they want or need? AP wife sucks for bringing meat out in a vegan restaurant. They both suck for not being a parent properly. Treat a 4-year-old like a 4-year-old, please, and not like a teenager FFs. Their freedom is earned once you F King teach them first, not start by raising a free-range monster. They can decide to not eat at home, but not at a restaurant. Second comment. NTA, there's a lot of different types of vegans, and I dare say many don't mind too much when it's babies, small kids. But a lot of the allure for going to a fully vegan restaurant, other than where the money goes, is not having to be around meat. Most of us day-to-day have to be around meat and meat eaters, and it's fine. Sometimes it's not exactly fine with us, but if someone asks if we mind, we feel like we have to say no, or else it'll be awkward. So it's nice to get away from it. And vegans who do manage to largely be around other vegans and in vegan settings and don't have to see meat often, they can find it quite disturbing. Now, for all we know, it could be a vegan sausage roll, but yeah, it's a respect thing. It's not that feeding a small child what they want is that bad. Many vegan parents have non-vegan children. But we do live in a world where many non-vegans think the height of funniness is feeding us meat by accident or purposely putting meat in veggie aisles in supermarkets. So again, having safe spaces from that kind of disrespect, it's a thing. Plus, like you say, in UK at least, it's not considered the best etiquette to bring food from outside that place into a food place. Sometimes sat outside you might get away with it for kids or dogs, or sausage roll from Greg's and coffee from Costa. But if anything, we are moving closer to a world where you can't use the bathroom or have a water if you aren't buying things, and you can't just sit with one tea for hours. They want high turnovers. Their bills are going up and they're mostly living off shareholders and trying to increase margins every year, so things like this become less and less acceptable from a business sense. Story 2. A show. AITAH for always choosing my daughter. I am married to my beautiful wife, 32, and I have a daughter from a previous relationship, F14. The problem is that my wife always asks this St. Pid questions of who will you choose. I have asked her to stop this, but she won't. I have made it clear that if the question is between her and my daughter, I will always choose my daughter, no matter the circumstances. Yesterday, she decided to ask another question. Imagine me and your daughter are both in a car accident. She is completely fine and I'm bleeding very badly. You can only take one of us to the hospital and the other one will have to wait for 30 minutes to be saved. Which one will you choose? Obviously, I said my daughter, and she was not happy with this. She argued that I'll be dead in 30 minutes, your daughter is completely fine. I told her that no, you will be fine in 30 minutes, because it hasn't happened. And also, how can I know my daughter is fine? What if she has a concussion? Also, I can't leave my minor child alone. She thinks I'm an asshole for letting her die and won't talk to me now. I think this is just St. Pid. First comment. Esh. Your wife sucks for asking the question and marrying someone with a kid when she's not cut out to be a stepmom. You suck because if your wife was lying in the side of the road dying of a gunshot wound and your daughter wanted to go to the movies, you'd choose to go to the movies and let your wife die. And before anyone argues with this, he said always, and I firmly believe that words have meaning. Don't say always if you don't mean 100% without a doubt. So I hope the second part made you think. Who cares about the accident scenario? You need something more ridiculous to open up your damn eyes, like gunshot wound vs movies. Oh, and AITAH also for getting married but never being willing to put your wife first for any reason. Again, that pesky always word, you don't love your wife or even care about her, so why did you even get married? Edit. I'm responding to the first part of your post. The accident scenario is just dumb. All you parents need to just date one another and leave us kid-free people alone. But you won't. Because you don't want the drama of dealing with someone else's kids either. Good Lord. Good Lord. And plus you even admitted in another reply that your wife has said I would like to be a priority sometimes, which clearly means you are just putting her last. You need balance, and you aren't going to get that if you are constantly shoving your wife to the side to drop everything for your kid. Second comment. It sounds like your wife is saying in the most immature way ever that she is not feeling safe in your love for her. When people don't have their needs met, they start thinking irrational thoughts that they normally wouldn't think. They start having jealousy where there normally isn't any, and then feel guilty for having felt that jealousy in the first place, especially if it's of a child. It sounds like your wife really needs a safe space to talk about her feelings with you and your reassurance that you love her and that you are by her side. She may say some things that cause a knee-jerk reaction in you to want to protect your daughter. Unless she is actually hurting your child, just listen and try to not take it personally. When adults with poor communication get upset, they usually talk like little kids do. They don't express themselves well, and then they fear those words will be held against them. NTA, but I think a little bit of graciousness would help your relationship a lot. Story 3. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my ex-boyfriend because he tried to tamper with my birth control? I 23F broke up with my boyfriend of almost 2 years, Todd 26M, on Sunday 2 days ago. I broke up with him because, as the title suggested, he tried to mess with my birth control. I told Todd that I intend to be child-free until I obtain my PhD and get a position with tenure at a university. I told him I was on birth control and had no intention of getting off it, and that it would be better if we doubled up with condoms. He said, okay. 2 days ago, we were chilling in my apartment and I told him I was going to take a bath and listen to one of my audiobooks. I heard the microwave go off and thought that Todd was making mac and cheese or something. I hopped in the tub and was about to start when I remembered I have a bath bomb that I was gifted at my friend's baby shower. I got out of the tub to get it from my room and I found Todd messing with the pill packet I keep next to my bed. I have a missing gallbladder after several attacks and I have to take prescription laxatives sometimes to be able to control my poop. The packet looks similar, and by similar I mean almost the exact same, to a birth control packet, including the silver foil and the color of the pills. I asked him what he was doing and for him to hand me my pills. The package was warm. I asked him what the hell he was doing with my pills, and he broke down about how he's successful in his job and I should want to have a family with him after 2 years. I told him to get out of my apartment, and before I slammed the door on him, let him know I had an arm implant birth control and that he microwaved my SH10 pills. I blocked his number, but he's been contacting me through my university's email and is refusing to take no for an answer when he apologizes. His mom's been texting me, as well as some of his friends and his sisters, telling me I'm juvenile for breaking up with him when I knew he wouldn't have been successful in tampering with my birth control, because I wasn't on the pill anyway. I feel so angry and violated, but they're right, nothing would have happened, and I'm starting to think I overreacted. First comment. Day, NTA. It doesn't matter that he couldn't successfully mess with your birth control. It matters that he tried to, and tried to conceal what he was doing from you. You cannot trust this man. Clearly his plans for the future differ significantly from yours, and he doesn't respect your desire to pursue academic success as a priority over becoming a parent. Not only that, he was willing to sabotage your success in order to gain what he wanted. You did exactly the right thing, and if his family can't see that his behavior was appalling, deceitful, and disrespectful, then they are no better than him, and you are better off not having them as your family. Second comment. Keperi, NTA. Forced pregnancy is a recognized form of domestic abuse. Changing the conditions of sex that someone has consented to is rape by deception, with men secretly disposing of contraception and safe sex measures in order to expose a woman to pregnancy and STIs, which may lead to cancer being a common form of this. You did not overreact. The fact that he didn't have all the information needed to destroy your life doesn't mean that isn't what he wanted to do to you. He was intending to trick you so that he could weaponize your body against you, so that your livelihood would be disrupted and you would be financially and legally tied to him for decades. Men who do this tend to broaden their behaviors once they feel that their victim cannot leave. He is a dangerous, misogynist piece of SH. What he did was a statement of disrespect, cruelty and entitlement. He does not like you as a person and therefore should not be your partner.